Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-January 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancerians. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for Cancer gang in mid-January? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. So let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in mid-January. What is the vibe for my good friends, please? Let's get this card out nice and quick for you. Oh, okay. It stumbled out. I'm taking it, though. You know I read jumpers. And we have the Queen of Cups. Now, this is an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck, but the symbolism in this card, it just always screams Queen of Cups to me, which is generally a pretty darn good card for Cancer. Now, there's a lot of reasons why that could be the case. And before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this Queen of Cups figure. So we see this lovely lady. It looks like she's sitting in a chair or a throne above the water, and she has her foot dipped in the water. So a lot of similar symbolism that we do see in the Queen of Cups. Now, why is that such a good card for the Cancer collective? Obviously, it does link to water signs. So if you're connected to another water sign, could just be them showing up here in a prominent place. But I think since it is a Cancer power card, and again, not gender specific, queens represent the internal aspects of whatever suit they are. So when we're talking water, we're thinking about emotion. We're thinking about creativity. We're thinking about intuitiveness. So for a lot of Cancers, all of those things could be very important for you. Hopefully in this time, maybe you're going to get the creative juices flowing. Maybe you're feeling pretty emotionally even-keeled. Either that, I mean, if we were to go the challenging route, the Queen of Cups can sometimes represent someone that's feeling something intensely. So for some of you, it might be a little more emotionally up and down than normal when this card shows up. Sometimes it could be like, oh, I'm feeling something deeply, but I'm not speaking about it. That's like a drawback of this card. But I will say, you know, at least to start us off, that this could be a very good thing for you. Could speak about your self-confidence, self-worth, and all that good stuff. So we're going to let her chill right there. Looks like she's having fun by the water. Let's get into tarot. And I always say the first card here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Cancerians. Let's see what's happening in mid-January. What is the vibe for my friends, please? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Now, it does seem for the last several weeks, there's been a lot of things changing, shifting, or at least preparing to. And last week's reading was titled An Extreme Change. So for a lot of you, that could be various circumstances, whether it's interpersonal connections, whether it's work, and just know that these energies could bleed over for a couple weeks. So there could be a lot of things for you that are about to really do a 180. That was the big vibe I was picking up last week, hopefully in a positive direction. But we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my Cancer friends. What's happening, please? Mid-January. What's going on? Thank you. Okay, so we're starting good. I mean, we do have the Star card. That is a zodiacal season that is coming up pretty soon, but I see this as one of the more positive cards in the deck. Let's get another one out here. Let's get another one out here for my Cancer friends. What's going on? Thank you. Okay. All right. So, this could be really good, but at the same time, it could be a little difficult to deal with the Hanged Man, because that is an energy where it's like keeping an eye on something. Let's get one more out here. We'll piece it all together. So far, 2 very powerful major arcana showing up for you. Okay, so we are going to have a bonus. On the back end, we do have the 10 of Wands, which, again, you know, that could be a little bit of a burden, some type of energy. We're not going to freak out about it just yet. And we also have the 8 of Pentacles, which is a card of work, career, business. I usually think of this as a positive. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. And at first glance, elementally, because I always like looking at the elements first, we have a nice pretty even mixture. It's kind of like every element is represented here, because on the front we have air with the star that connects to Aquarius, even though that's the water bear. We have the Hanged Man. That links to a variety of signs. Like some people give it to Scorpio, some people give it to Virgo, some people give it to Pisces. So this is like the water earth hybrid, and we have fire. So it's like we have all the elements showing up, which is pretty balanced to me. So even if there are some difficulties going on, it's like, okay, we have a nice stasis for whatever reason. I think it can be okay. Now, there are some really strong, intense energies for you this week. That's the one thing I will say with all the major arcana, the 10 of Wands. It's a lot. It feels a little heavy, but not necessarily in a bad way. Let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out, though. So position number one, we are starting with the Star card. As I mentioned, one of the more positive cards in the whole entire deck. This links to the zodiac sign of Aquarius. So whether you're linked to one, maybe you have some Aquarius placements yourself, to me, this is a beautiful card of wish fulfillment. Now, it is hope. It's our optimism. It's how we see silver linings in things. So even if you are going through some trying things or issues, or even if things seem a little stuck, when I see the star, it's like, okay, but everything will be okay. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. This is a very hopeful card. It's also tied into like universal source energy as well. So it's really nice. Now, what is a challenge with the star? I always say that it's not always right now, right this second. The star could be looking at big chunks of time. So this could be something that hasn't materialized yet, or something that's a little off in the distance, which is totally fine. The rougher side of the star could sometimes represent when someone gets a little depressed. Like if this is a reverse, it's someone that might be feeling a little hopeless about something, or might be feeling deflated, like giving up on something. So we'll see. I'm feeling like it's okay, though. I'm not getting any major warnings about it just yet. So it could be really good for you, because it's like, all right, well, the long-term perspective energy is nice. And just remember, Aquarius season, that's right around the corner. That's not far from now. Now, moving to the center, we do have the Hanged Man, and that is the epitome of like a mixed bag type of energy. So the Hanged Man isn't really doing much in the physical. Right? We see that individual there. He's hung upside down and he is watching something. I always say it's a retracted, pulled back energy, very similar to the Hermit. Notice he's watching, he's analyzing. So for some cancers, maybe there's something you need to pay a little more close attention to, or there's something that you're watching, or maybe someone's watching you. There's also a strategy and planning involved with the Hanged Man as well. I'm sure you can understand that there are some challenges that come along with this card, but I will also say that this card, to me, although it's not doing something physically, there's a strong energy building up underneath. So for a lot of cancers, there could be something, even if it seems calm on the surface, there might be a lot going on underneath. Now, the challenge with the Hanged Man, it could represent delays, it could represent problems and situations where it's like the Hanged, like what's happening, what's causing the delay here when we see this. So I definitely want to check it out further. I'm not going to say it's a huge red flag just yet, because again, it could be something you're either watching, paying attention to, or that you need to. Now, moving to the back end, as we get the Hanged Man tucked in right there in the center, we have the 10 of Wands. Now, for a lot of you, there's positives in this. This is a card of determination. I know a lot of Cancerians are very determined people. When you have your mind set on something, you will see it through. It's a very dedicated type of energy, but it's not always the easiest. So again, we have all this powerful major arcana. Then we have this 10 of Wands. It's just a lot of energy to deal with. So just know, even with the Queen of Cups in the beginning of the reading, for a lot of you, you could experience energy in a much more deep, potent way than you normally do. And that's saying a lot, because cancers are sensitive to energy. So just know that. But the 10 Wands is burdened, right? It's heaviness. So whether it's mental, emotional, physical. I also link this to physical health and well-being. So it's very important to stay on top of health things, health issues. When this card is here, you might just be feeling a little down when it comes to your energy. So again, we're not going to raise the red flag just yet on these cards, but as you can see, there might be some things we want to pay close attention to. But I do like the long-term prospects. That's one thing I will say. Now, on the back end, we do have the Eight of Pentacles, which is a beautiful card. It's a card of effort. It's a card of career and business. I already mentioned that. So for some cancers, maybe you're pentacle focused, maybe you're focused on work things. If that's not the case, to me, this represents something or someone we want to give energy to, where it's like, I want to work on this. I want to put energy into this. So there might be various things or different things that you're wanting to give your focus to, which can be good. And this is also a card of fixing things, mending things. So when I see it right next to the 10 of Wands, it's like, okay, well, whatever it is that might be showing up here, this Eight of Pentacles is a good sign. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here for my Cancer friends. Let's see what's up, please. Guides and spirit team. What's going on for Cancer? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the star. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, star time. Why is the star here for my good friends? Please. Thank you. Knight of Pentacles, a little slow, but there is something that could be worth your time and effort, because to me it is like the energy of a win in the end or a payoff, but it's like moving a little too slow for my liking here. Now, I am a fire sign, right? Like that's one of my major placements. I have a lot of fire and water, so to me, I could get a little impatient. But generally, people with strong water sign placements, they could vibe with this. We have the Knight of Pentacles in the upright. Now, if you're connected to an earth sign, very good alignment. There's like good things that could possibly come from this, especially in regards to work, money, and business too. The Knight of Pentacles does rule over that, but it's slow. So when we combine the energy of the star, remember, big periods of time, with the Knight of Pentacles, slow, steady, detail-oriented. For a lot of you, this could be a payoff in the end. So whether it's a struggle you're going through now or something you're dealing with now, it's like, okay, well, in the end, it'll pay off. Might take a little time to get there. Now, I know it's been interesting because last week we're seeing a lot of energy shifting and changing in an extreme way. If that does happen for you, if things are shifting and going wild, you can expect a nice stretch of calm where things to settle down. All right, so that could be a good thing, but we're going to just keep moving here. And the Knight of Pentacles could also be a communication, a talk of some sort. He is a messenger, so some of you might receive some good news. That could be possible as well. Let's keep moving. But again, this to me does feel like something paying off. So whether it's something you've been dealing with for a long time, working with for a long time, it's like, all right, well, when this process is complete, when you finish this process, you will be happy with the result. So let's go in on the Hanged Man. Let's see, there's a lot of slow, cumbersome type of energy here. So why is the Hanged Man here? Please. Let's see what that's about. Then we'll get into that 10 wands. I want to check that out. Yeah, not moving too fast. We have a lot of earthy energy here. So the 7 of Pentacles, there could be something where you need to just let it develop a little bit, or just like see what happens, because I feel like in life there's times for action and there's times to sit back and watch. And when I see the Hanged Man with the 7 of Pentacles, look, they're not doing much. What are they doing? They're watching. They're keeping tabs on something. So for a portion of you, sure, this could be an important or serious situation that you want to keep tabs on, that you want to keep an eye on it, of course. But at the same time, it's like, just let it develop a little bit. See where this goes. So there could be a lot of situations you're dealing with right now where it's like, okay, well, just see how it unfolds, see how it goes. Your time to make action will come. Your time to push things forward will come. But right now, let it breathe for a minute. I don't know why that energy's showing up, but it is. Now, the 7 of Pentacles is, aside from patience and energy that's not really moving, I do feel like this is a card that, once again, pays off for you. So, again, all this energy, it's not moving too fast, but the long-term prospects are really good, really happy type of vibe. So I do like it. 7 of Pentacles, very karmic as well. So, again, certain things are out of our hands, right? So some of you might be dealing with certain situations where, no, it's out of my hands and not much I could really do here. Okay, so again, either it's an important situation you need to keep an eye on, or a karmic situation where there's not much you can really do about it. Let's keep moving. Again, I don't feel like we need to get too hung up there. Let's see what's up with the 10 of Wands, then we'll do a quick little recap in the energy. So even though this isn't a weekly reading, I feel like the long-term prospects with something are really good. Okay? So you should be planning things long-term. You should be looking at things in like a big long-term scope. So let's go in on the 10, see what that has to say. For a recap, thank you. Temperance, yeah. So we have all the cards of patience here, my friends. So Temperance here in the upright, big Sagittarius energy. I will also say that this could be a healing type of energy. So if you've been having any issues in regards to health and wellness, like this could be a good energy of healing, and I do really like it. So just know now could be a great time for recovery, recuperation, beautiful energy there if you're going through any physical vessel issues. Now, Temperance is just like the 7 of Pentacles. Temperance is just like the Hanged Man, just like the Knight of Pentacles. And for some of you, this might be a little bit frustrating, but It's like, all right, just take your time. I would say for a lot of you, aside from that healing message, when I see the 10 wands with temperance, I'm getting a similar vibe, like wait and see, watch and see. You need to see how this evolves, right? Because sometimes the universe will do some surprising things, right? Especially with the karmic energy. Now we have spiritual, angelic energy. This is really good. Temperance is one of the most protective cards there is in the whole entire deck. It has the Archangel Michael on it. So when I see it under the 10 of Wands, now is a great time for healing of all sorts of varieties. So whether it's physical, mental, emotional, now is a great time to recuperate energy and recoup yourself in one way or another. But at the same time, the long-term prospects with something are really fantastic, and you should be looking at it in that way. Whatever situations you're dealing with, you want to look at the long-term energies of it, not just right now, not just right this second. And yeah, this karmic energy, this karmic situation could be true, especially if there's something where it's like, all right, well, there's not much I could do about it. Watch and see what the universe does, because that's a big energy showing up here too. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. I mean, total opposite from what I've been seeing for you in recent weeks, where I've been seeing extreme change and a whole bunch of change. Now the energy seems to be calming down. So for some of you, this could be a very good thing. If things have been hectic, this is things starting to settle. But if you kindly look in the box position number one, we have the Star card with the Knight of Pentacles. Hopefully some of you are receiving good news. This could be a big payoff of some kind, something you've been working towards for a while, or the long-term prospects of something look great. In the center, we have the Hanged Man with the Seven of Pentacles. I did say either this is an important situation or a serious one that you really need to keep an eye on, where Spirit's saying, like, don't act yet, don't act, just watch, like, pay attention, keep an eye on this, right? Like, definitely pay attention to something. Or there could just be a karmic situation you're dealing with where it's like in Spirit's hands and there's not really much you could do in the physical just yet, and that's okay. The time will come. Moving to the back end, we have the Ten of Wands with Temperance in the upright. So I did say this is a beautiful healing type of energy, which definitely stands true. But at the same time, aside from that healing, it's like just recoup the energy, heal something, and just see how the energy or what the universe does with it. So interesting reading this week, Cancer. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. So let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. Let's see what's up. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get your shadow card here. What do we got for Cancer, please? In the shadows. Thank you. Nice and quick. Temperance. So, I mean, if we didn't catch the hint throughout all this, and Temperance also showing up as the last card, we get it once again. So we're going to talk about the shadow side of Temperance, because I already told you a lot of the good stuff about it, that it's a beautiful, spiritual, protective energy, and that is true. So with this in the shadows, yeah, this could be some spiritual protection or insulation that you don't quite see. But there is something here about either needing to have patience or being calm about something, where it's like, just see what it does, see how this elapses, see what goes on, because Temperance isn't really doing much. But just like these other cards, there's something building up underneath the surface. Now, what is the shadow side of Temperance? It could be someone that either one overindulges or does a little too much, someone that won't take no for an answer, someone that has no quit. That's a big thing with the dark shadow side of Temperance, because it's very impatient. It's very my way or the highway. So watch out for energies like that in this time. But I feel like it's good for the most part, especially since it fits the narrative and the theme. So Cancer, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The January subscriber surprise. If you would like to get a personal reading from me and get a little forecast for what 2025 has in store for you, you can check out my website and digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com to look for availability. But for the January subscriber surprise, we are once again giving away 3 copies of the beautiful Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what is your main goal for the 2025 calendar year? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab as usual, my friends. Much love, and I'll see you soon.